Hello and welcome to a Smurd P video, and today we're looking at Uncanny X-Men 2 and who are the OUTLIERS. I don't know how you pronounce that, which is normal for me, and that's not a good start, getting things in the wrong place. So apologies, I am not in my usual location and I am trying to adjust because my house has been turned upside down while we have some works being done. So crazy enough, we have Charles Xavier in this story, which I wasn't actually expecting, so it's actually quite a nice surprise. And we have his diary, which and he's talking about this day where, no, that's really not gonna do. Just gonna keep knocking off. There we go. Right, that's hopefully a little bit better. Where he meets a young lady and they have some nice banter. Xavier acknowledges how he's not probably socially acceptable. So, as my daughter says, you are. She says to me quite often, I am not I'm a social butterfly. So I'm not a fan of big crowds and stuff. Don't get me wrong, I go and do those things, but I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy clubs and all that jazz. So probably very similar to Charles Xavier. You know, I'd rather read a book. That's why I'm here, reading a comic. And this young lady is trying to get a ball, and they have a nice little conversation. And yeah, it seems to be going well. And her name is Sarah. Now, that will become interesting later in the story. So, who is in the story? We have Rogue, Gambit, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and then we have these young people that have come out of nowhere at the end of last issue. And this is written by Gail Simone, artist David Marquez, Martin Wilson's on the colors, and Clayton Cow's on the letters, which is quite normal. So, these kids have come asking for help. However, as you can imagine, when good guys usually meet good guys, it doesn't go well. And Gambit is sort of sucker punched by the eye of Agamotto. Wolverine's going to head in there. Rogue is still a bit just in after the death of the young boy in the last issue. So guess what happens? Well, Wolverine tries to touch the boy, even though he says not to, and all hell breaks loose. And he gets sucker punched by the end of it. Pegasus Knight comes flying in, so Rogue is taken aback by a great big horse with flaming wings. And this young lady seems to have some sort of device as part of her mutant powers that seems to make her freeze time to take out some of the others, like, well, take out Gambit in particular, and this one seems to be sort of like death, which is very interesting. He seems to be able to read quite a bit into people and what they have done in their past, and well, let's imagine Wolverine's killed a hell of a lot. Meanwhile, at Grey Malkin's prison, which was once Charles Xavier's school, they have captured a mutant. They've also talked about the danger room, and they are potentially gonna use this. Now there is a plan brewing with these people, which we will discover more in a minute. Charles Xavier's friendship with Sarah seems to be growing, and so before Lilandra, before Moira, Sarah was there. And quite shyly, he's not prepared to take off his hat. As you can imagine, he's been bored for a very long time. But she convinced him to, and she's like, you know, I can't stand blondes, even though she is a blonde. She can't stand blondes, so she's quite glad that this will do. So more to that story in the future, and especially towards the end of this issue. So we've discovered that Teresa has been captured, aka Siren, and eventually, so basically, I can't remember this lady's name already, which is terrible. It will dawn on me later on in the day, but she has something in Siren's head that could blow her brains out, basically. So, oh, and this lady has a sucky podcast, apparently. probably like my YouTube channel. Hey, so she's trying to see if Charles Xavier is in her head, even though she's saying that he's dead, and there is nothing. Krakow is gone. So she is trying to enlist Siren to be one of her trustees. That's probably the last of that in terms of this issue, so we'll find out more. And I'm starting to like the mystery surrounding these things now. That's what I dig about comics. That's why I like Jerry Dugan's, especially those earlier issues of X-Men. I love a nice run that has a plan. It has little mysteries that you get little bits of information each week that keeps you interested. That's what I enjoy about comics. When a comic is not doing that, I'm just reading it because I'm just an X-Men fan and it's like my duty to read it. It doesn't happen very often, but not all comics are done like this. So from that perspective, Simone is doing a really, really good job. So Rogue, she doesn't hit the horse, but she does hit the kid. Wolverine comes firing out, which throws the little time Gale out of sync, and well, then they are all on the ground, and Jubilation comes flying in to break up the fight and says, hey, I'm the adult in this situation, let's break it up, people. And she's just back from, so if you read my free comic book 2024, you would have seen Jubilee doing a recon on Grey Malkin prison. So the adults are talking and trying to come discussing the Grey Malkin situation, as well as these kids. What are they doing with these kids? So Gambit's going to go talk to the young people. Rogue is going to have a conversation. Now, we saw part of the conversation that Rogue had with Cyclops. The other bit is we get Wolverine. Wolverine's not exactly the same. I mean, we've already seen Walker. If you've watched my X-Men video, you've seen Wolverine walk away from Cyclops and he's not doing this anymore. And this was sort of his idea. He didn't want to do it anymore. He doesn't want to be a kid's mentor. You know, he's done it with Jubilee. He's done it with Kitty Pryde. And how many times has it gone wrong? And maybe it stems back to Kitty Pryde doing all that she did. You know, that wasn't why he took her on as one of his... In fact, Kitty Pryde was his first mentor, young person. It was never meant to go that way. So he's probably a bit on the sideline. So he has changed. Krakow is gone as well. That probably hurts. It's hurting everyone, I feel, right now. So we learn their mutant names, which weren't in the beginning bit. So next month we should see Jitter, Ransom, Daydream, and we learn that Calico is not actually a mutant, but she has nowhere to go. None of these kids do. Cyclops' conversations with Rogue is Grey, don't come here. Stay away from Grey Mountain prison. We clearly need... Charles is there, but we need to do some more recon, etc., you know. So, and there's nowhere for these kids to go. So I guess that Rogue's team are going to be the X-Men. And then they start talking about who was hunting these children. And the person hunting them is known as the Hag. And she doesn't even think she's human. And basically she takes offerings to somebody else. So we saw at the last issue this young mutant being captured and dropped off to Grey Mountain Prison. And they've got a bounty, etc. So, and clearly this creature likes flesh, etc. And then the bomb is dropped. Thank you for your gift, Sarah. Where have we heard that name before? Oh, that's right, talking to Charles Xavier. Is this the same Sarah? Did she become a mutant at some point? There is more to that story than we know, and now there is some sort of weird connection with the warden and Grey Malkin prison, and how that's come about. So clearly she's one of her trustees, you know, which is, I guess you could say, similar to Charles Xavier's X-Men. She's creating a team, right? A team that can go up against X teams and other mutants, or go hunt them. You know, I'm surprised she hasn't tried to capture Rachel Summers at this point as a hound. and then we get a snippet of what's going to happen in the next issue. So, Darkness is Falling. I love this story. It's a really, really good issue. Gave us little bits of snippets, gave us a little bit of mystery, and let's see where this goes, eh? So, I hope you like my video. If you do, please support my channel by subscribing. Really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Really do appreciate it. Make sure you look after yourself. Very important these days. And as always, embrace the geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.